Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'll, update the title of this segment if I'm wrong. Pete Buttigieg has won the Iowa caucus, officially won. If you look at the New York Times, 71% reporting, 1,250 out of 1,765 precincts. Now, this is interesting. Buttigieg now leads in 60 counties, while Sanders leads in 18 counties. Bernie has the popular vote, and this is hilarious, but he's losing swing states. Now, that was Clinton. They're all over the place. Democrats are the most miserable, pathetic failures. Bernie Sanders exists to be cheated. And I'm sorry, I don't have respect for some... I respect Bernie Sanders as a human being. What kind of political game he's playing is nauseating. Bernie exists to be a martyr, to be cheated, to lose, to be stomped on, to be a doormat. I don't know why he's doing this. Simply declare victory. Why did Buttigieg declare victory? Why didn't Bernie Sanders declare victory? Oh, because he's so much better of a person? Who cares? These people are cutthroat. Bernie Sanders is showing up to a nuclear confrontation with a Swiss Army knife. I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Why didn't he invest in that app? Shadow Inc., just miraculously linked to Clinton operatives or Clinton loyalists. Clinton is going to be nominee. Bernie Sanders funneled votes into Clinton in 2016. And I say that as used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. The links are below in the pinned comment. I explain in the Federalist, that's below in the pinned comment and in the description, why Bernie voters should vote Trump 2020. Trump fights. Bernie Sanders does not fight. Look, I said that he would be cheated 3 years in a row. So for the past 3 years, I said he would be cheated. Now you have Bernie voters going after Pete Buttigieg in the most nasty, disgusting manner. I explained that in H.A. Goodman's other channel. They have no business doing that. They have no business calling somebody rat boy or whatever. They have no business doing that. Because the thing is, it doesn't help Bernie Sanders, and the frustration should be vented at the Democratic Party. The frustration should not be vented at somebody that played the game better than Bernie Sanders. Okay? But here, of course he cheated. Of course Buttigieg cheated. Of course they cheated Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders should have won, but he should have said, hey, I won, or hey, I've been cheated. Or, hey, you know what? If you instead of asking for more money and saying, oh, you know what? Give me more money. I've been, this is really good. Our internal polling says we've done well. Well, if your internal polling says you've done well, why on earth didn't you claim victory like Buttigieg did? Okay, but now Pete Buttigieg is at his 419 state delegates. State delegate equivalents to 394 Bernie Sanders, and he leads 60 counties to Sanders' 18 counties. So Sanders got the most populous places, obviously, Bernie Sanders is cheated beyond belief. This was not an example of an app that just didn't work. Just like it wasn't an example of, they had to just, a factory reset Peter Strzok and Lisa Page's phones, just miraculously after we had a litany of anti-Trump texts, after they were going after Trump and setting up and framing him and covering up Clinton's crimes. The left is full of defeatists and people who cannot. You know what it's like? It's like an unhealthy relationship with a spouse that completely denigrates you, cheats on you, does all these bad things. You keep going back, and then you make excuses. This is okay. Rose Twitter, the socialists, the anarchists, you're all going to vote Clinton anyway, like you did in 2016. You're not going to tell your friends and family that you're voting Trump, and you're certainly not going to tell your friends and family that you're not going to vote Democrat. Because if you do, then you will be painted a Trump supporter, and then all the nonsense and the lies and the deceit and the propaganda that was leveled at Trump that Bernie helped level will be leveled at you. So what do? You fall in line. You then call Pete Buttigieg all these nasty names. This is so disgusting. So if you look at Pete Buttigieg's, and I don't even like his platform. I don't even know what his platform really is about. But you look at his foreign policies, horrible. Got into the debate with Tulsi Gabbard. Well, Tulsi Gabbard easily defeated him in the debate. He doesn't want to remove Americans. He wants to keep Americans in harm's way. But Tulsi Gabbard, Trump, wants to remove Americans. I thought that Bernie Sanders wanted to reverse U.S. foreign policy. He said, it has to be an orderly withdrawal. That's what a bunch of nonsense. Bernie just repeats whatever he's told. He's like literally like if Pelosi could shove her hand up Bernie's you-know-what and just make him speak, that's what he is. Why doesn't Bernie Sanders simply say, I was cheated. You cheated me again. This will not stand. If you cheat me again, there's going to be consequences. You can't do that here. If you look at... So Pete Buttigieg has tonight's results not only represent an astonishing victory for our movement, they validate a message... Yeah. Okay. This was before... Because obviously the DNC gave him the heads up. That's why he declared victory. It's not a coincidence that the app failed. It's an app that tabulates election results is not a difficult app to create. Okay, this isn't some kind of miraculous, engineering feat. You're not like, creating a colony on Mars. Okay, this is a simple app. It's like just tabulating votes. Okay, it's easy. Even with their lame different alignments, it's not that difficult. Okay, it was deliberate. Why do you think they spent 24 hours trying to find some way to ensure Bernie Sanders doesn't win? Because they will never allow him to win. Now, unless Bernie Sanders says, you will pay the consequences for cheating me, I will run third party, or he'll never do that, but I will call you out. I will at least say, hey, you're cheating me. This isn't right. Unless he pushes back or fights back or defends himself or sticks up for himself. Show some dignity, Bernie. At least say you were cheated. My God. Unless he does that, they're going to cheat him probably in New Hampshire. Who knows? I mean, Pete Buttigieg is like tied with him in one poll, almost really close with him in one poll. But you have... So Pete Buttigieg, he's going to be the official winner. So I'll change up the title on this if I'm wrong. But he's the official winner. Why? Because the Democratic Party cheated. Bernie Sanders should have won Iowa. Obviously. But now you have Bernie supporters caught between a rock and a hard place. They're so frustrated with life. They're going after, you didn't win, you know what, rat boy. It must be awful to be so hated. What results? What movement? And then there's pictures of rats. It's like, what are you doing? Why are people doing this? Well, New Hampshire will not be as forgiving to you. Then they're going all after him, pictures of him and rats and da-da-da. And you have even pundits saying, pictures of the rats. It's so lame. It's so counterproductive. But the main thing is there's no utility to it. You're not helping Bernie Sanders. The only way to help Bernie Sanders is to say you're not voting Democrat if they cheat Bernie Sanders. But even Bernie won't do that. So there's really no way to help Bernie. Bernie Sanders exists to funnel votes into the Democratic nominee who will be Clinton. He funneled votes into Clinton after he was cheated. He will funnel votes into Clinton in 2020. This is a very nasty, very disappointing and frustrating game. If you cannot see what's taking place, you are willfully deceiving yourself. You want to be deceived. Pete Buttigieg leads Sanders by 1.6 percentage points with 71% precincts. Okay, how on earth is Buttigieg leading in 60 counties? How on earth is Bernie Sanders would get, thousands of people? I guess there's a possibility. I don't know. The whole thing's, they spent 24 hours. So he has 419 statewide delegates to 394. There's 71%. I think Bernie's, all of the counties that were the most populous that voted for Bernie, All the counties that show as the most populous that voted for Bernie, they had already voted. You still have other counties left that'll probably go to Buttigieg. Buttigieg won a lot more counties, so you have it'll be close. Bernie will win the popular vote, which is hilarious, and Buttigieg will get the statewide delegates, and he'll win the Iowa caucus. That's why he declared victory, because they already told him he won. Why do you think that he declared victory? They already told him he won. Why do you think a simple app, quote unquote, failed? It did not fail. This is not rocket science. They cheated in broad daylight. But see, in a way, Bernie is part of it. Bernie is pretend. That's why he's not fighting back. There are 2 billionaires there. You think that the billionaires are afraid of Bernie Sanders? You think that people like James Comey or Clinton are afraid of Bernie Sanders? No, they're not. Vote for Bernie. Do whatever you like. I'm not trying to tell people not to vote for Bernie. What I'm saying is that he's part of the charade and act. This is an act. He's not upset he's being cheated. This is an act. You give money to Bernie Sanders, you're giving money to a person who knows that he's part of a theatrical performance. Pete Buttigieg won officially in Iowa, not because he won, because the system that Bernie's a part of would not allow somebody like Bernie Sanders to win, but then again, Democrats don't want Medicare for all. Those people who say vote for Clinton in swing states, those people that get $20 million in venture capital funding, those people who claim to be, those people that Bernie Sanders can't even endorse, his biggest supporters on YouTube, Bernie can't even endorse. I wonder why. Bernie Sanders didn't champion the DNC fraud lawsuit, where DNC attorneys said that they could cheat and they could pick a nominee in smoke-filled back rooms like the 1800s. They have every right to. Bernie Sanders didn't endorse one of the biggest pundits on all of YouTube, who devoted, endless hours to him. I'm not a big fan of that guy, but whatever. I mean, Bernie Sanders can't say that he was cheated. Bernie Sanders has, promoted the same myth that said that he, along with Trump, were Russian tools. Because remember, the Russians not only propped up Trump, they propped up Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders. Okay, and Bernie Sanders is a part of it. So why hate on Pete Buttigieg? Don't get upset with Pete Buttigieg because he played the game well. Because he was chosen, let's say, by the DNC. I shouldn't say that. He's a good candidate, actually. He's probably a better overall candidate. I don't agree with most of what he talks about, but he's probably a better overall candidate than Bernie. You can see he has the chutzpah, the audacity, the conviction to, proclaim that he won. Even if the DNC told him, it was still, a pretty, audacious move. Bernie would not do that for fear of getting people upset. That's why he gets cheated. So he either wants to get cheated or he doesn't want to get cheated and can't defend himself. Either way, this is all a charade. Pete Buttigieg had support in Iowa. There's no doubt he did. He had enough support to make it close. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have won. Pete Buttigieg, though, if it was a fair Iowa, contest, would be second. Bernie would be first. No doubt they fudged the numbers. No doubt they spent a day trying to say, well, this app messed up. There's quality control. I mean, these people make the funniest euphemisms. Oh, quality control. No, you spent a day trying to justify how you can give as many delegates to Pete Buttigieg as possible. That's why there was this whole 24-hour plus delay. That's why the DNC emails showed that DNC officials were actively conspiring against Bernie Sanders. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. This does not happen on the Republican side. Democrats are far more corrupt than Republicans. And then none of the Republicans wanted Trump, and he still won. So Pete Buttigieg is officially the winner. I'll declare it right now. If I'm wrong, I'll change up the title of this segment. But he has 419 statewide delegates to Bernie's 394, and he's won 60 counties to Bernie's 18. The whole thing's nonsense anyway. I said that they would cheat Bernie because the whole alignment thing is hilarious. The whole alignment thing, check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. The day of or the day before Iowa, I said the alignment thing is they're going to cheat Bernie because he's going to come out ahead initially, and then people are just going to go to Buttigieg. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I have a great segment on that. Pete Buttigieg won the Iowa caucus. If you're calling him a rat boy, you're a fool. If you are trying to disparage him, you are a pathetic, miserable imbecile. You should be calling out, or you should be withholding your vote from the Democratic Party. That is the only way to ensure that Bernie or any other candidate will never be cheated again. If you vote Democrat in 2020, you will then foster the same cycle. The same people who said vote for Clinton in swing states are the same people who are part of the whole nonsense. If any pundit said to vote Clinton in 2016, either directly or in swing states, they are and then the same people do that again in 2020. They are fostering the same system that enables Democrats to cheat Bernie or any other candidate. Because DNC fraud lawyers stated. Which brings to, why do you think certain people didn't talk about the DNC fraud lawsuit? Oh, that's right. This thing is an entire charade. Hillary Clinton is going to become the nominee. I will have made the biggest political call of all time with that one. And NPR quoted me in 2016. And they quoted 538. 538 said that Clinton wouldn't be GOP nominee. In my Huffington Post articles, I stated that Clinton was unelectable and she would lose swing states, and I was right. I'll be right in 2020. Clinton's going to be the nominee. Biden is a complete failure. And that's it. Give me your thoughts below. He that was hilarious. Amy Klobuchar is going to get more votes than Biden when it's all said and done. But Clinton is going to become the nominee. The same people who are disparaging Pete Buttigieg are the same people who are going to vote for Clinton. And it's just an unhealthy, disgusting process. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right now. Trump will defeat Clinton again in 2020. Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. That was my Huffington Post article in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, read my Federalist article below in the pinned comment and description. Why Bernie supporters should vote Trump 2020. And please subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. That link is below as well. Thank you. Pete Buttigieg has officially won the Iowa caucus.